Hi everyone, I'm Mahesh Jayaraman, acupressure therapist, health counselor, and co founder of Sepalika.com. We're always told to eat less salt. It raises your blood pressure, which in turn can lead to diabetes and heart attack. That's what we're told. Salt is said to be damaging to the kidneys as well. Too much salt also leads to bloating. It seems like the list of reasons why we should not have salt is endless. Unfortunately, no one talks about two other crucial things. Number one, has our salt consumption actually increased over the years so that we can link the increased salt intake to the increased hypertension that we see in society? And number two, can having less salt do us any harm? Let's take these one at a time. The average American consumes 1.5 teaspoons to 3 teaspoons of salt a day. This number hasn't changed in the last several decades, and yet incidence of high blood pressure and cardiac disease has increased over the same period of time. In comparison, the Japanese take in 25% more salt per day and yet have one of the highest life expectancies in the world and a far lower risk of heart disease than any other developed nations. So what are we missing here? What does salt do for us, and can having too little of it actually do us harm? Number one, restricting salt very severely can lead to impaired insulin sensitivity. This was shown in a startling Harvard Medical School study. Number two, salt is critical to digest food properly. Why? Salt is sodium chloride and stomach acid is hydrochloric acid. You need salt, sodium chloride, to create the hydrochloric acid. Otherwise, you will suffer from poor digestion. Number three, salt is absolutely critical to make your bone structure firm. One of the biggest triggers for osteoporosis is shortage of salt and water in the body. Number four, without salt, none of the information processing and communication that happens within the brain can actually take place. What's more, salt removes excess acidity from all of the cells in the body, especially the brain. Number five, salt is an effective antihistamine. This is often missed out in the era of prescription drugs that we live in, but it's been used for centuries as a natural allergy remedy. When you get a runny nose or you experience a sore throat, just try putting a little salt at the end of your tongue. Wait for it to be absorbed, don't swallow it immediately. Your symptoms could dissolve rapidly along with the salt. A bit of salt mixed into a glass of water even works well for a hay fever. Number six, and this is the kicker. Salt is very important for maintaining proper blood pressure and cardiac health. You heard me right. In a 2015 study, researchers examined 833 heart patients, including 130 patients who followed a sodium restricted diet. They were matched against another 130 patients who had no restrictions on any salt intake. About 42% of the heart failure patients following the low sodium diet wound up dying or being hospitalized for heart problems, compared to just 26% of the patients without any salt restrictions. Now here's the final score as we see it. We know that all life emerged from the sea, that's including human beings. Salt is natural and critical to many body functions, and so when we restrict the salt in our diet, it triggers a cascade of hormone reactions in our bodies as it desperately tries to recuperate the sodium or salt from the waste stream. These hormones can make people vulnerable to heart disease and kidney problems. So what kind of salt should you be having? Well, natural sea salt contains 92 essential minerals and other elements, whereas refined salt, which is a byproduct of chemical industry, contains only 2 elements, that's sodium and chlorine. While commercial salt is more convenient to access and to buy, remember that it has added chemicals and it has been bleached to give it that beautiful shade of white. Refined salt has virtually no health benefit, so you'd be better off keeping away from it. Ideally, we should consume about 1.5 to 3.5 teaspoons of salt per day. Obviously, if you're more active or tend to sweat a lot, you may need to increase your salt intake appropriately. So go ahead, don't fear salt. Have it in the right quality and quantity every day for all the wonderful minerals that it contains. Wish you vibrant health. and well being.